Everyone, welcome back. It's Melanie, your She Shed Scrapper. So today I am back with a 2-page layout using the Into the Wild collection from Simple Stories. I have quite the collection of this, more so the embellishments than the paper. So for this layout, I am using scraps, and I am still documenting the hotel from Disney. We stayed at Art of Animation, and it was just amazing. And so the photos I am documenting now are from the Lion King part of the hotel. And I just thought it'd be so fun to use kind of a zoo themed collection. You know, when I set out to do kind of my Disney layouts, I thought they'd all be kind of the same. I have a whole iris container full of, Simple Stories and Echo Park Disney collections, but I am really enjoying using other collections to document our trip. We went at Christmas time, so I've used a Christmas collection already. I had some Cars paper, old from Cricut, that I've used. And then I have used my Disney collections too, but then I've also used this, and it's just been so fun to mix it up. And I was afraid, I'd come back and I'd document all Disney and you guys would get bored, but I feel like by mixing it up and mixing up the collections, it helps for sure. And I know that, you don't come necessarily for the photos. It's kind of the layout and the layout ideas. So I think that aspect, if you go in kind of thinking that as well, that kind of helps when, I don't know, maybe all my pictures are Disney. But I definitely have scattered lots of other types of layouts in this month. So I am trying to get so many photos on a single page or a 2-page layout for these Disney albums, because I have so many photos and just don't want too many layouts, I guess, in the boys' albums. I think I am going to make one album just of Disney, but for the boys' albums, I know a trip we did in the past, I did pretty much 3 albums, one for each boy and then one for me, and it was just so much, and I knew I didn't really want to do that this trip, even though I would love to relive this trip 3 times. It was just so amazing. So that yellow paper, you could see on page 1, I have a big section of that yellow paper. However, on page 2, because I lined my photos up, I was able to just use strips of that yellow. I still did leave the white space in between each photo, kind of like it was matted, when in fact it is just directly on the page. And then this green paper here, I'm just cutting in strips and tucking it behind the yellow paper to make it look like layers. So if you need to extend your papers, layering, kind of using the strips instead of big sheets of paper is the way to go. So on this one too, I was able to use this wider strip of this light green here. I do think I got this right out of, or like I cut it out of a 12 by 12 paper. So this was not a scrap piece, but I used very minimal of it. So on page 1, because it goes all the way to the left, but the yellow paper doesn't, I needed a thicker strip. But because the yellow paper on page 2 goes all the way to the, side to side, I was able to cut a thinner strip, and so I didn't waste as much of that paper. So on page 1, I have the 2 photos stacked on top of each other, and then I have a 4x4 photo as well. And I matted both of those, and then I went into the 6x8 paper pack to find a different pattern paper to back my photo on. I just wanted to incorporate lots of different colors, and I thought that kind of burnt orange really matched the photos well. Oh shoot, now I can't think of which one's Timon and which one's Pumbaa. I think it's Pumbaa. Is it a warthog? I felt like that color really accented that well. And then Simba's mane, oh Oh my goodness. It's been so long since I watched Lion King, and I feel like I'm all confused because the kids used to watch Lion Guard, and it was it wasn't it the babies from the movie The Lion King were now the adults in Lion Guard, and so I think I'm getting all confused. I should know this. I'm so sorry. I do love Lion King. Anyways, I just felt like that color accented the photos really nicely. I had the puffy kind of foam stickers, and so I decided to use Explore for my title, which was pretty appropriate. We were exploring the resort, and it was just so fun. And then there were quite a few lions in the embellishment packs, and so I wanted to at least make sure I included one of those. So I'm kind of playing around with embellishment options and clusters. I am going to add a flip flap. I had run out while I was doing this layout. So the middle photo on the right is going to be where the flip flap is. And so those photos are longer than the ones that are taped on the paper. And so I do kind of have those on top as a placeholder to know where to embellish, what would be seen once those larger photos are on there. So I did add some floral pieces to the title and then that banner piece under the 4x4 photo, and I really like the way that those look. Just kind of playing around with different options now as well. Again, I have so many of the embellishments, but not as much paper for this collection. So I think I did my other son's 2-page layout for this too off camera, so you'll see that in the layout share, but I think I made kind of the clusters larger because I just have so much of it, and a lot of it just went with my photos again, so it was just fun to kind of keep adding to my embellishment clusters. So I liked that line at the top with that little palm branch, and then I love that Stay Wild, and so I did end up kind of keeping that cluster the same up top. I had to use some foam tape because the lion and that palm branch are both chipboard pieces, so if you layer those, obviously, you know, they're thicker and they don't layer as well. So I did have to use some foam tape for the lion, and then I did decide to use that Stay Wild, but add it to the right hand side, and I like that kind of brought, I guess, elongated the layout maybe a little bit. The embellishment cluster on the bottom, loved the Hello Adventure, and then kind of just went from there with some ephemera and then stickers from the sticker book. I thought maybe I would journal on that piece of ephemera there, but instead I added a phrase sticker from the sticker book and a circular sticker from the sticker book as well, and just really had a lot of fun just using different pieces. I used chipboard, I used ephemera, puffy stickers, foam stickers, kind of any type of embellishment you could think of. I probably used it on this layout. The fun thing with flip flaps as well is that you can have kind of hidden embellishment. So because I had so much, I decided to embellish that bottom photo as well. So I added just some stickers. I didn't want it too thick because I didn't want, you know, a bulky layout, so to speak, especially with that flip flap. So just added a simple cluster underneath there, and I guess really that kind of finalized once I get the banner piece obviously taped down, but that's kind of gonna finish off the layout. I do have like the brads, so I do sprinkle a couple of those here and there, and again, just kind of finishing off page 1. I had to pop the banner up on foam tape because I did pop that 4x4 photo up on foam tape as well. I think these teeny tiny square foam stickers are actually from the Dollar Tree. We'll see in the future if they hold and last, because that's pretty much where I've been getting all of my foam tape and stickers. So we'll kind of find out in a few years how well it actually is. So once I kind of sprinkle a few more brads here and there just to kind of even out, I guess, the embellishment clusters and kind of the pieces that are in there. That's going to finish off this layout. I think this collection's still available, so I will link it down below if you are interested. But I hope you guys enjoyed this layout, and we will see you next time. Bye, guys.